Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Hugo, and today we're going to see what's going to be the best stocks for this week. I'm going to do a market analysis, and also we're going to have a look into my portfolio performance, so stay around. Before we start the video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Only 2.5% of my viewers are subscribers, and I need your help to achieve the 1000 subscribers, so don't forget to smash that button. Now let's go back to the video. This week we're starting with IEP, which is Icon Enterprise Depository Units. They are on the industry of industrial agglomerates, so basically they operate on several sectors, on the food packaging, on automotive, energy sector, metals, real estate, fashion, and pharma business. So basically they acquire several industries. Their sector are capital goods. This is a good company. They have a dividend yield of 13.09%. They pay quarterly, March, May, August, November, and they are overvalued in 58%. The only thing I don't like in this company is they are overvalued in 58%, which is too much. It's like Tesla, it's 300%, and I don't like to invest in companies like this. For the short term, probably that could be a nice to go, but long-term investment, 58% overvalued, I think it's too much. And we're seeing this. Tesla is high valued at the moment at around 300% or 200%. And I remember that I bought a Tesla at 300 and now it's at 600, and we have a drop around 20% since the 800 top. The ex-dividend date is on the 25th of March, and the financial health, it's 3G, it's good. They are really good in terms of financial health. The assets and liabilities, in terms of assets, they are quite high comparing to the liabilities, and we have a market sentiment of buy. This market sentiment of buy probably what's causing the overvalue of the stock. Although in the past weeks the stock has decreased quite high, and this could be a nice time to buy. But in my opinion, it's still overvalued. For me, it's not the one that I will go for. I have also other stocks on my watch list that I'm willing to buy, but they are still overvalued, and they aren't so overvalued as this one. They are around 25%. As soon as those stocks reach around 10%, probably I'll buy, but at this moment 58% is too much for me. There are also some things that we need to have in consideration for the stock. The earnings on the past 5 years has been decreased on 5.5%. At the moment they are unprofitable, and we don't know the forecast for the next 3 years, and this dividend is not covered by the earnings. So basically they are paying to pay this 13% of dividend, and the shareholders has been diluted in the past few years. So this is some things that we need to have in consideration. For a short-term period, probably 3 months or a quarter investment, probably it's nice to go just to get this 13%, but a long-term investment, we have some risk here. These two next stocks that I'm going to talk about, it's on the tobacco industry. MO Altria Group Inc., they have a dividend yield of 6.8%. They pay quarterly, March, June, September, and December. They are undervalued on 41.7%, and the ex-dividend date is on March 24. The financial health is not that great. So we have only 1G. I put 1G not to put a B, because if I compare the liabilities with the assets, they have more liabilities than assets. It's around $1 billion of difference, although the global assets management is around 9 billion. The amount of capital they have is quite high, so that's why I still give them a G. The market sentiment is a strong buy. We have the increase on the past few weeks. This probably because we are reaching to a point close to the ex-dividend date, but there are things that we need to have in consideration. One of the good things is they actually had profit this year, but they have a high level debt. The 6.8 dividend yield won't cover the earnings, and we have some impact on the financial results. Although they are still undervalued in 41%, but this could be again one of the stocks for a short term, like a quarter investment or something like that. British American Tobacco is the next one that I'm going to talk about. So why I put here two tickers, it's because one is from the US Stock Exchange and the other one from UK Stock Exchange. The biggest difference is because on the US Stock Exchange you pay 30% of tax, and on the UK you won't pay that. So we have a dividend yield of 7.81%. They pay quarterly, March, June, September and December, and they are undervalued in 70%. This is regarding the UK stock, not the US stock. although both have an ex-dividend date on the 25th of March. The financial health is also a G, and the market sentiment is a buy. And this undervalued of 70% is only regarding the British American tobacco on UK stock exchange, because the UK market, we don't pay the 30% of tax as the US markets. So it's a better investment we invest on the UK than actually on the US, because we're going to get more returns than actually on the US market. So this is something that we need to bear in mind. The earnings are forecast to grow around 6.88% for this year, and the earnings grow around 12% on the past year. The risk analysis regarding the stock is the high level debt and also unstable dividend track record. So sometimes they decrease the dividends as they want, quarter to quarter. This is a stock that I have on my portfolio, the British one, the BATS.L, and I'm willing to sell around August or something, as soon as they go a little bit higher, because we have a 70% of undervalued, and I still think this is a good stock to buy. The other stocks that we're going to have this week, it's Main Street Capital, which the ex-dividend date is going to be on the March 26th, and they have a dividend yield of 6.55, which they decrease since the last few months, which was around 7% at that time. So now we're going to have a look into the market analysis for this week, what's going to happen. We're going to have a look into the Nasdaq to see what's going to happen in this week. So let's go jump into the graph. So what we're looking here, it's a Nasdaq, not a future. So what I want to show you is what's going to happen during this week. So we do have here a support, a really strong support, which is based on this 2 months. And then another support here. What you can see here on the AMCD graph is we're going to have now a cut again. So probably we're going to have a new rise. So I'm hoping this will do something like this, or we may have some other which is going down from here and then go up on the second support. I do believe that if we reach this breakout over here, we're going to reach this support around here, and then probably we're going to have an up, which happened something similar in the past. So based on this, what you can foresee this week, we may have a decline around another 2% maybe, or we do have a breakthrough, and we're going to start to have a bull markets from now on. Let's see what's going to happen. One of the things that we can do in order to fight this decline, if in case it happens, is to have money on our balance account, so we can do some average on our existing stocks or buy others that went quite low. So now let's talk about copy trade. If you want to copy trade me, you can search my name on the eToro and you just can click copy. Don't forget to copy the open trades, because this is going to be the best for you, and also you can get from the most of the stocks that I have, which have dividends, and you can gain dividends with those stocks. Remember that the minimum is 500, but the recommended it's around 800 or 1000 euros, which you can simulate this on the spreadsheets that I'm going to show you in a few moments. One thing that I give as a word of advice, please, if you want to copy me, don't copy me with just for one day. You may lose money, as happened here. You need at least around 3 months of permanence, so we can receive dividends from that, and also the growth of the stocks that I have will help you to get positive that you're going to see right in a few moments. So this is not a fast money schema, this is an investment that you're doing. You're not going to get rich in one day, we need time. So that's why I'm saying around 3 months. Here is an example of people that are more than 3 months with me, and some of them has already reached the 10% of return. Beside the dividends, they also receive directly into their account. So this is just a warning. If you want to copy me, don't copy me just for one day or two. You won't get rich in one day. This is an investment for a long term. That's why I just want you to bring this up. The portfolio performance for this week. My portfolio outperformed the market in 0.46%, which the market went down in 1.4%, and my stock went down in 0.92%. So we still outperformed the market. Since inception, my portfolio went down in 1% since last week. We have now at 15.8%, and the top 5 portfolios for this week was Facebook, British American Tobacco, which already talked this week today, AVGO, Broadcom, Alibaba, which suffered a big decline on the past 2 weeks, and they had increased this week in around 3.8%. And GlaxoSmithKline also had the increase of 2.89%, which I'm hoping this will go a little bit higher because I had a lot of stocks, and I'm hoping to sell this in August, depending if they maintain the dividends or not. So this was the performance of my portfolio for this week. I wanted to include a little bit more information about the indicators and the actions that I've took the past week. The new acquisitions that we had was none. I've done average on DIV, on the AG and C, on Hathaway and WMT, because they went negative in around 5%. And when they reach minus 5% or minus 10%, I tend to do averaging depending on the values invested. Also, the top payers, it's CLET. The top dividend yield is AMZA with around 12%. And my portfolio is still undervalued in 40%. So that's why I tend to buy stocks that are undervalued, like Tesla, something like that. I will never buy because it's still overvalued, and in terms of growth, doesn't give too much margin of growth. So the portfolio future growth is around 29%. So as you can see, my undervalued is 40%, and I have a growth of around 30%. So if I had a portfolio overvalued, this means that my portfolio, the future growth, will be much less, around 1% or probably 0 or probably negative. The stock with the highest volatility is going to be PFG, and the lowest is going to be Unilever.L, which is quite stable. This is due to the sector that they are in. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this week's stocks and analysis. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive upcoming videos. If you think that I should mention more stuff around my portfolio, please leave me a note there on the comments, and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. Once again, thank you, and see you next week.